But remember, out there, you are on your own.
This video, it is about, in general, progression, healthy, safe progression on Via Ferrata, specifically on horizontals than overhangs. It doesn't speak about progression on the vertical. It shows examples on how you can improve your situation while advancing on the horizontal or horizontal overhanging segments. It introduces some techniques that I use, then some thoughts that I have about other people's opinion. The sound audio is bad because I lost the main good audio file. During this trip, a lot happened, a lot of undesired things. During this recording, I smashed the camera, then the lavalier broke. I eventually was forced to drive away, buy a new lavalier, and so forth. Not always goes as planned. Please stick with it. It is good content. I thought about publishing it or not. It is a shame not to have it there. I will try my best to make the audio as easy to comprehend possible. Overall, I think the content is good. It fills a gap when it comes to this side of Via Ferrata. Hence, yes, here we are. I will just push it out there. I hope, except the bad audio quality, the rest will be something that you'll find good, useful, worth your time. I thank you for that. I thank you for watching it. I thank you, everyone else who subscribed to the channel, liked the videos, added comments, debated me, or shared with others. Thank you for everything. It's not easy. It takes a toll. It's getting there. You find it useful, it appears, which makes me extremely happy to then motivate me continue doing it. The cost of it is quite large, but here we are. At the end of the day, the mission is to help everyone get safely onto Via Ferrata and then safely out of it. Thank you for watching.
I'm here on this training Via Ferrata. We have this boulder, another boulder there, where kids and adults can train before going on the main route. The big advantage of this training route here is for very small kids to just get and do it, because otherwise they are not able to go up there. For adults, if this is their first time, can go through this small easy route close to the ground to exercise the basics of Via Ferrata. The basics of Via Ferrata are the sitting harness here. Let me show it to you. The sitting harness, which wraps your hips, your body. Then we have the Via Ferrata set. This is composed of the loop that connects to the belay loop of the sitting harness. Then you have a shock absorber of it, to then have these two elasticated lanyards. They are elasticated. These lanyards here are only elasticated to make it easy for you to reach the anchors where you'll make the transition, but they don't absorb the shock of a fall. Them being elasticated, it is only about allowing you to reach at a length the bolt where you want to do the anchor point transition. I will show you the anchor point transition in a moment, to then being elasticated to end up this small so that it doesn't bother you when you progress. What helps protect you in case of a fall is this black thing here. It is a shock absorber. This, when you fall, has some stitches. They break, and these stitches breaking, it is what absorbs the shock of a fall. Then, as the basics of Via Ferrata is the helmet, optionally gloves, of course a very good pair of shoes made either for Via Ferrata or otherwise mountaineering activities. The basic rule of Via Ferrata is easy. You should at any time use elasticated lanyards connected to the safety steel cable. A Via Ferrata is made of a bolt going into the wall, into the mountain, and then the safety steel cable which is connected to the bolt. It keeps going like this for the entire length of that Via Ferrata. At any time on the Via Ferrata, you should stay connected through these two elasticated lanyards. They should at any time be connected. You don't progress on the Via Ferrata with just one elasticated lanyard. For sure, you don't progress on a Via Ferrata disconnected like this. On a Via Ferrata, always have these two elasticated lanyards connected. These two elasticated lanyards are part of the Via Ferrata set, which is connected to the sitting harness. The sitting harness is fixed onto you. When you advance on a Via Ferrata, you have to do something repeatedly, over and over again. It is how Via Ferrata works. You have these bolts going into the wall, you have a safety steel cable connected to the bolt. This is what keeps you safe in case you fall. You have the lanyards, these two elasticated lanyards connected to the safety steel cable, but when you advance like this, you have a bolt in your way. And why you have these two elasticated lanyards? Because when you reach this point here, what you will do is you disconnect one of them, but only one. Now, in case I fall, let's suppose I fall now, and here I am falling. That one still holds me. Good. This is now disconnected, but this is still connected. I flip it after the bolt, and now they are both again connected. Again. Good. What do I do next? I disconnect this other one. Again, only one is connected. In case I fall, it still holds me, and I connect it above the bolt. My progression. If this is the direction I'm going, I reach the bolt again. It is what it is. Now I disconnect, connect, I disconnect, connect. As you see, I did it with only one hand while I was keeping the safety steel cable with my right hand, and of course I have good resting position. Before I make the transition, I make sure I'm in a very good stable resting position, because here it is easy. But in many cases you will have difficult situations, for example overhanging sections. When you encounter overhanging sections, let's suppose this is an overhang. By the way, this is also slippery, and you stay like this. This is very difficult. It is very difficult on your arms. Now, what you have to do is you have to find a good resting position. Let's see, and fast. You switch, fast. You switch, and now you can progress. This is an example of not really overhanging, because I'm not being pushed by the wall on my back, but I still have to use my upper body to be able to progress, because I don't have proper resting for my feet. Good. Now, in this case, if you want to do the anchor point transition here, let's see if it goes. What you can do, so I'm progressing. Once I reach the anchor, let's suppose I'm progressing. What I can do is create this arm hook here. By doing it like this, I'm in a stable, robust position that allows me to do the transition. I'm coming back on my arms, which is very hard by the way, and I continue. I have people on the internet laughing about my arm hook technique. Let me show it back to you. The arm goes above a cable, I put it here, and from here it gives me, through the vector forces of the body and pure physics, it keeps me close to the wall without putting too much effort during the progression. Of course, it will hurt a bit, but this is way safer than trying to do the same transition like this. Because when you do the transition like this, what can happen is, I'll show you in a moment. What can happen is this. You hold yourself with your arm and you get tired for any reason or another. Your arm releases. Now you are done. You are falling. It is way easier for your palm to slip from the cable than for your arm hook to give up. Yes, it can, but it is less probable. Hence, when you are here, and suppose this is how you cross the section, you put your arm above, hook the safety stick cable, and now arm extended fully if you can. Because if you do it like this, you'll get tired fast. Fully extended and you're advancing. Good. I have another technique. People are laughing, but again, it is helping. Let's suppose you are in an overhanging situation and you keep going on your back. It's not the case here. I don't have an example, but let's suppose you are in that situation. You have to pull yourself next to the cable, because if you only stay like this, you can stay like this and try to do the transition, which is possible. The problem is you will exhaust your arm, because when you keep it at an angle, you have to employ your muscles. If I'm in an overhanging situation, I have to come close to the cable and I'm executing a forearm lock like this. I put the arm below and here the elbow I grab. Now this is not difficult, it's easy. It hurts a bit, but it's easy. Do the transition. I'm safe. Now I can go back on my back. Continue. Let me show you a forearm lock back again. Under the cable, I grab with the elbow like this, and this will keep me through the physics of my body, the mechanics, here without putting too much force. Yes, you use a bit of force, but it is way easier than doing this. This here will exhaust your muscle force fast. If that Via Ferrata requires you to do that for a couple of times, you are done. Of course, if you don't have a training. Good. Now, this is a horizontal. Many will laugh and say, oh, you are not strong enough, you are not courageous enough, whatever. Because on horizontals you are also clipping the lanyard of the wrestling system. The question here is, on horizontals, but only on horizontals, is this safe or not? It is a question. Well, check previously when I dropped for a second. If this ruptures, it means your shock absorber is partially deployed and you should no longer use the Via Ferrata set. I am checking, everything is good. I don't see any stitches here ruptured. It is good. So now what I do is I will close it back. But let's suppose you go on an overhang, not like here with this pegs helping me to just walk on it. Let's suppose it is an overhand. Let's suppose it is like so. When you don't have artificial holds for your legs, you have to continue. And see, it is slippery. I'm slipping. You see, I'm going. I cannot stay. If you don't clip this lanyard of your resting system and you lose control, you might fall into the Via Ferrata set. That fall might be enough to deploy your shock absorber. The shock absorber, the Via Ferrata set will catch you. Nothing bad should happen there, really. But on a horizontal like this, there is an issue. If you go below the line to the maximum length of your Via Ferrata set and more, how do you get back? This is the question. It's easy here because, well, I leveraged the peg. But if the shock absorber deploys by a meter or 30 centimeters, what will you do? How will you recover? This is a question. You might think, or you might say, oh, I just pull myself against the lanyards of a Via Ferrata set and I'm returning. Not true. The weight of your body is way too much for your arms to grab the lanyards of a Via Ferrata set and pull yourself up. It's not possible. I've tried to replicate the situation, the scenario. I could not lift myself up. So you are now there hanging and you have to call for help. Isn't better when crossing overhanging horizontal sections to just put the lanyard of your resting system? You are with a cable way above your chest line. So this one is almost under tension. By the way, I can also advance by keeping this under tension, this lanyard here. The Via Ferrata set is still here doing its job. But this one now helps me progress. After each iteration, I rest for a moment. For my case, because I have it, this resting here is Y-shaped. I have a shorter and a longer. For this situation here, maybe I will use the shorter. Why? Because it keeps me way closer to the cable. And with this, I can by putting all my body weight onto this resting system. Why do I want to do this? Because it helps me conserve energy. Now, people will come to laugh at you and say, oh, you are not strong enough, you are not smart enough, you are not capable enough. It is why you are crossing like this. Let me tell you this. If something happens to you, all they can do is to recover you, nothing more. They will not cry. A week later, maybe they will remember you in their stories 20 years in the future. Maybe. For sure you'll become part of a statistic. But otherwise, all these people laughing at you and making you feel bad about yourself are just that. They might be experts, they might be younger, they might be stronger, they might have exercise, whatever. It is their reality, their perspective, their life. But what about your life? When it comes to your life, you have to be smart. There is nothing wrong that can happen to you if you properly leverage the resting system. Now, many people will go out there without a resting system, not have a lanyard to help them recover in case of something. It is completely wrong. My advice to you is make sure you have a lanyard, a static lanyard, to be able to use as a resting system. The rule of this lanyard is to not be longer than this one here. You see, I cannot fully extend my arm, only at an angle like this, which is good. If the lanyard is too long, longer or as long as the elasticated arms of the Via Ferrata set fully extended, it will get into trouble because they will become longer than the length of your arm, and when you sit into it, you will have to pull yourself up on the lanyard itself to touch back again the safety steel cable. The rule here is once connected and fully extended like this, when you stretch yourself, you should be able to grab the cable. This is the maximum length. You should not have a resting system of which length is more than your body is fully stretched while hanging onto the safety steel cable. If it is, it's not good. It can be shorter, as in this case. Nothing bad about this situation because I'm resting and I can reach with my arms, which is optimal. To me, optimal is this Y-shaped here, epsilon, because it gives versatility to the system. If I need the shorter, I'll plug the shorter because now I'm closer to the wall, and there are situations where you want to stay closer to the wall, or otherwise longer, because it might be that I have situations where the holes actually are lower, and this being longer helps me properly rest while still staying close to the wall. And of course, when it comes to overhangs and horizontals like this, each one will have a useful function. Moreover, the other day I had to rappel down on a Via Ferrata. Guess what I used for the rappel system? This Y-shaped lanyard, which proved it's my first time doing it. I have something for rappelling, but of course I didn't started this trip thinking that I will rappel. I only had a rope with me, and then the need to rappel down, I used this Y-shape. So let people laugh at you. Make sure you stay safe out there. Rules, cardinal rules: never use this static lanyard on verticals or diagonals going up or down, because if you fall and this is connected, it will break you, and the probability of you dying is more than 80%. Never do that. You can only clip this static lanyard on horizontals and overhanging sections going on the horizontal, nothing more. If you go on a vertical overhanging section, you cannot plug this. On a vertical section or a vertical overhanging section like this, you only need the Via Ferrata set and nothing more. On diagonals of any type, going straight overhanging whatever, same thing, only the Via Ferrata set. The resting system can be plugged, clipped to the cable and used for progression only on horizontal. This is a cardinal rule you have to always remember, because you can be smart by properly using it, but you also can be dumb and stupid and risk your life by improperly using the resting system. It is why you will never see it out there advertised as part of your overall Via Ferrata climbing safety gear. Nobody speaks about it. People do it because they need it. Companies and instructors or guides will never tell you that, because they don't want to assume the liability of you improperly using the resting system. Remember, the resting system can be used in two situations. One, static situations on the horizontal where you rest. Let's suppose you are on a vertical, you can put this above the ball and rest. Nothing wrong there, because there is no possibility for you to fall. You can plug this advancing on the horizontal and the safety steel cable is above your belly or chest line. You have to be like this, or even better, to be like this. Why? Because you don't have slack in case of a fall. So if I fall now from here, it will transfer quite a lot on my body and the sitting harness, which you don't want. Hence, best you use this when you are in situations like this, or otherwise, as per my case scenario, on this horizontal, I use the shorter one because if I fall, it is. So let's suppose I'm here, I'm losing control. This is it. Of course, I don't know if you've seen what can happen here when you fall like this is your head the ball. Now we go to PowerPoint. Let me finish first. Never, I don't have a vertical here. Never connect this on verticals or diagonals. Never. Going to this case where you can hit your head onto this ball here. People always say, "Oh, Via Ferrata it is easy." Well, it is. It is how we make it. They stopped at level E. There are some level F1 or 2, but they stopped at level E because they want to keep it for entertainment. It is an attraction. Via Ferrata is an attraction. Rock climbing is a sport, extreme sport. Via Ferrata is an extreme attraction. Rock climbing is an extreme sport. They keep Via Ferrata up to level E to keep people safe. Still, there is an issue. If you fall, you can hit the bolt there. The pegs rungs below you. You can rupture your skull, your face, whatever. You never know what happens. Break your bones. You never know what you are hitting while you are falling. And rock climbing is completely different. So yes, this is it. Remember, when necessary, the forearm lock, the arm hook, then on horizontal sections and horizontal overhangs, maybe makes you stay safer if you properly use your resting system. Take care of there because you by yourself. People coming with you, behind you, ahead of you, as long as they don't connect you to them through a belay kit, it means you are on your own. If you fall, they don't. If you fall, nobody catches you. Only the Via Ferrata set. And nothing more. Remember that. Yes, you go with friends, socialize yourself, have fun, have a laugh, go through experience Via Ferrata because it is amazing. But remember, out there, you are on your own.